Now, is battery optimization all you really need, or is a big battery with it equally as important? Well, let's find out with this extreme battery drain test between the Z Fold 6 versus the Z Fold 5 versus the Google Pixel Fold in our extreme battery drain test on mobile data only. Let's get into it. Now for the battery and specs, starting with the Z Fold 6, it is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 mobile platform built for Galaxy chipset, and it is packing a 4,400 mAh battery. The Z Fold 5 is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, and it is also packing a 4,400 mAh battery. And the Google Pixel Fold is powered by the Tensor G2, and it's packing a 4,821 mAh battery. Now for the parameters of this extreme battery drain test, anything that comes to adaptive battery or power saving features or performance limiters that will actually stop us from getting the best and the most continuous battery drain experience throughout for all these devices have been disabled to make sure that things are as consistent as possible. When it comes to the display, we have enabled the 120 Hz adaptive refresh mode. And of course, when it comes to the latest software update, these are all up to date at the time of this recording as of the 11th of July 2024. When it comes to the performance profile on the Z Fold 5 and the Z Fold 6, we have left it in their standard mode and not switched it to the light performance profile. For the displays, they all have been manually calibrated to 200 nits as close as possible. And of course, with our extreme battery drain test, we are doing this on mobile data only with no Wi-Fi option. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start things off with this extreme battery drain test between the Galaxy Z Fold 6 versus the Z Fold 5 versus the Pixel Fold from Google. And yeah, the same battery capacity compared to the Z Fold 5 on the Z Fold 6. Have Samsung been able to pull off some form of optimization magic with the new chipset and software to really make it a difference? Or are we pretty much going to be getting the same experience or maybe potentially worse? Well, let's see what the Pixel Fold has to say against them, because it does technically have the biggest battery. And of course, with our extreme battery drain test, we do shoot it as one continuous video with no pausing and only speed it up in the most important places. So you don't have to sit there for hours like I had to. So if you do appreciate the effort and this setup, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn the notifications so you don't miss any future videos on the Lover of Tech channel, especially when it comes to our extreme battery drain test. Yes, of course, we are doing this on mobile data and pretty much going to be simulating the most accurate depiction of real world battery life you're going to be getting in this controlled environment. Right, let's pretty much get into it. The first application is TikTok, and I always say this, TikTok is like what? Let me hear it, people. The wicked Wild West when it comes to consuming content and posting content. So if you want to see more vertical related content from us here at Lover of Tech, make sure you follow us there on TikTok at Lover of Tech BA. Now, how I did it compared to my previous folding drain test is that I would do half an hour on the outer display and half an hour in the inner display, just to give it more of a balanced approach. And this is what I did with my first battery drain test on these foldable devices way back. So definitely go check that out just to see for reference. And yeah, we are pretty much here after 1 hour. There's 87% battery, 35.8 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss on the Z Fold 6. And again, 87% battery, 36.4 degrees Celsius, minus 13% battery loss on the Z Fold 5. And then 86% battery, 41.8 degrees Celsius, minus 14% battery loss on the Pixel Fold. So hot on the Pixel Fold, slight battery loss more on the Pixel Fold. But yeah, this is what we're getting. We're pretty much getting a similar experience after 1 hour of TikTok so far with the Z Fold 6 and the Z Fold 5. Of course, the Z Fold 6 is the newer device. It's the main focus we really want to be seeing, because we were expecting a bigger battery from Samsung to really see a difference, but let's see how it pulls off. Next is Instagram Reels. So we're going to pretty much be going through an hour of Instagram Reels. And I've said it, Instagram is like one of my favorite social media platforms right now when it comes to watching content, sending memes and Reels to people, and keeping in touch, and especially behind the scenes of what's happening here at Lover of Tech when it comes to upcoming content, how we're shooting it, and things like product launches and press trips. So if you want to see more BTS, make sure you follow us on Instagram at loveroftech_BA. So after an hour of Instagram Reels, where will we be when it comes to these phones? With the Z Fold 6 it's on 72% battery, 36.9 degrees Celsius, minus 15% battery loss. And on the Z Fold 5, it's 71% battery, 36.7 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss. So we are pretty much looking at that situation right now. Now, I had a bit of a nightmare moment where I kind of melted, where I forgot where I placed my heat gun. So I didn't start the Instagram live test until about 12 minutes, 10 minutes after the 2 hour mark. So apologies there. Man, I've been running on back-to-back 3-hour sleepless nights just trying to get these battery drain tests done on so many product launches that are sandwiched together, and this wasn't included. So yeah, slight blip. So just have that in mind for the Instagram Live. Now, when we get there and pretty much take the temperature reading, this is obviously from the readings that I measured and mentioned from before after the battery reading. So just take that into consideration. But yeah, Instagram Live is definitely one of the most intensive parts of our extreme battery drain test. So as we're pretty much getting into the hour interval mark of it, where will we be when it comes to the Instagram Live test? And of course, we are still doing it in the same way. Half an hour through, we're going to split it from the inner display to the outer display to see what we're working with when it comes to the battery percentage, as well as obviously the overall usage temperature and where we are across the board, because it is a 2-in-1 device. It's a tablet, mini tablet, and an outer fold when it comes to the smartphone experience from what we're using. Slightly larger display on the Z Fold 6, so 51% battery, 48.0 degrees Celsius, minus 21% battery loss, 52% battery, 45.2 degrees Celsius, minus 19% battery loss on the Z Fold 5, and on the Pixel Fold is 45% battery, 48.7 degrees Celsius, minus 22% battery loss. Yeah, this is pretty much what we're working. And of course, in terms of taking the temperature reading, it is going to be on the inner display on the right-hand side. This is usually where the battery capacity is, and also things like the chipset and the overall workings of the body of the phone. So that's where we're going to get the most accurate reading when it comes to actual temperature reading as we're going through. So after this point, we're pretty much going to be moving over to YouTube, and it's going to be an hour of YouTube at 4K 60 streaming, and that's on our definitive camera comparison with the S24 Ultra when it first came out versus the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Pixel 8 Pro. I'm telling you, I was facing all manner of challenges for this battery drain test. It wasn't just the fact that I had misplaced my heat gun and the sleep deprivation I was going through, but also the mobile data on one of the SIM cards. Actually, both of them did run out at a certain point, and by the time I realized it, I pretty much was able to swap into the spare SIMs that came in, so not much was lost in that sense. But I'm telling you, man, everything was going wrong for it to really just not work. And considering I started this battery drain test late in the hours of the night, and I wasn't going to be done, especially following a charging test after. If you want to watch that video after, make sure you check that out. The charging test on the Z Fold 6 and the Z Fold 5. I didn't include the Pixel Fold because it takes too long. After the 4-hour mark, it's 32% battery, 37.1 degrees Celsius, minus 19% battery loss in the Z Fold 6, and then 33% battery, 36.4 degrees Celsius, minus 19% battery loss in the Z Fold 5. Very similar. And then 25% battery, 42.1 degrees Celsius, minus 20% battery loss in the Pixel Fold. Boy, it looks like even with this new chipset and also having the same battery capacity, I don't think we're really going to be seeing much of a difference so far, but I might be wrong. Things might change. Now we're in YouTube music, and of course, I've got one of my favorite rap albums and projects of all time, Kanye West's College Dropout, and Lord knows the way I was suffering at this time. This was the section that gives me that little boost that I need in terms of just the music that I enjoy, the tracks that I enjoy, that give me that motivation. Like Never Let You Down featuring Jay-Z and Kanye. That's the track that really just boosted my energy to make sure that I can do this and make sure that I don't let you down as my audience. So if you appreciate it, make sure you subscribe. Road to 100K this year, man. So yeah, after 5 hours, 16% battery, 33.7 degrees Celsius, minus 16% battery loss. And again, 16% battery, 34.8 degrees Celsius, minus 17% battery loss in the Z Fold 5. And then 7% battery left, 39.8 degrees Celsius, minus 18% battery loss on the Pixel Fold. So yeah, Pixel Fold is pretty much going to be calling it quits very soon. And as we're pretty much going through, where will we be when it comes to the Pixel Fold and where we'll be finishing on the finishing line for this battery drain test? And yeah, we're pretty much looking at a finishing time of 5 hours, 23 minutes and 28 seconds, a temperature reading final of 44.9 degrees Celsius. In third place is the Google Pixel Fold. Now, of course, we know at the time of this recording, the next version of this fold should be coming out mid-August on the 13th. So it's something we're going to run it back if we get this device in. So let's see how it goes. But the 6-hour mark, is the Fold 5 going to make it? Well, it's going to be very interesting because actually it's both of them that are level pegging when they're draining at the same time. But actually, as we're going through the motion, it is the Z Fold 5 that packs it in a lot quicker. And we are looking at a finishing time of 5 hours, 56 minutes and 23 seconds, final temperature reading of 35.5 degrees Celsius in second place. So just below 4 minutes before the 6-hour mark where we get into the 4K 60 FPS video recording on the main rear camera. So that is a very interesting one, how they manage it. And of course, that could be down to the fact that it's a slightly older device compared to the newer device that's fresh out the box with the Z Fold 6. But it's a very interesting outcome in how everything played out. Now, with the 4K 60 recording, how long is the Z Fold 6 going to last before it packs it in? And there is a finishing time of 6 hours, 4 minutes and 59 seconds, a final temperature reading of 38.9 degrees Celsius. In first place, the Galaxy Z Fold 6. So in third place is the Google Pixel Fold with a finishing time of 5 hours, 23 minutes and 28 seconds. Compared to the previous battery drain test that we did with it, it did a lot better this time around, so it's good. We're just hoping to see massive improvements when it comes to the next generation, but so far, this is what we have. In third place, Pixel Fold finishing time of 5 hours, 23 minutes and 28 seconds. And in second place is the Z Fold 5 with a finishing time of 5 hours, 56 minutes and 23 seconds. I'm gonna be very honest with you, throughout all the stages, the battery was pretty much level peggings to the Z Fold 6. It was just the last few percentage when it came to the Twitter Spaces test where it just caved in a lot quicker, and that might just be the fact that it's a slightly older device when it comes to the battery health. But apart from that, it looks pretty much very similar, but it is in second place technically in our test with a finishing time of 5 hours, 56 minutes and 23 seconds. And in first place is the Z Fold 6 with a finishing time of 6 hours, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Honestly, I really wish Samsung was able to pack an extra 300 milliamp hours at least into the battery capacity. That would actually help it get to a comfortable 6.5 hours and beyond. But here we have it. It's pretty much similar to the same battery experience to the previous generation. So I don't know, this is what we have here with the Z Fold 6. It is in first place, finishing time of 6 hours, 4 minutes and 59 seconds. Now, were you surprised with the results of this extreme battery drain test between the Z Fold 6 versus the Z Fold 5 and the Pixel Fold? If so, let us know in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Level Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.